Yields back. Gentleman from Texas recognized.
I would just interject real quick to just say, to clarify for the record for both colleagues on both sides of the aisle, that first of all, the CJS outlays go up. The actual outlays go up. This budget authority nonsense that we talk about in this town that obfuscates the truth. If you want to spend a lot of money, God bless you. Go to the American people and tell you want to spend a lot of money. But all my colleagues running around saying that they cut spending, we actually have an increase in the outlays. And this stuff about the FBI cuts, the 7% cut, it was almost entirely one building in Alabama, an earmark from Richard Shelby. Let's have an honest conversation about what's actually going on about the spending on law enforcement, but that's actually the truth. And that's what happens in this town. We sit around talking about funny money, but that's the truth about the actual spending. And the only other point that I would make, what we're talking about here, just to be clear for the average American watching at home, we're talking about individuals who come to our country and who are allowed into the United States, allowed to come to the border and make a claim. They make a claim under law saying, hey, I think I qualify for asylum, right? That's the theory. Or they come under some other color and they're paroled into the United States because of some blanket authority. We would argue and are arguing that it is a massive expansion of the authority that's supposed to be a case-by-case basis, and that those individuals who come here, released into the United States legitimately and illegitimately, 100% true that there's at least one of each of those categories. We think the illegitimate category is big. My colleagues on the other side of the aisle think the illegitimate category is small, but they have both of those categories. There's lots of people being released into the United States, but it is all under the theory that we're trying to help people. Hey, you might be running away from persecution for your religious or political beliefs. As our law says, you get a shot. Or we're paroling you in for some reason. Usually that's supposed to be that, hey, you're fighting cancer. We're going to parole you into our country to be able to go get treatment. Not a mass parole in violation of case-by-case basis. Then layer on to that what we're talking about is, then they're here. Then they're accused of a crime, right? And we're saying, well, we don't have a detainer on these individuals. And then suddenly they are accused of a crime. And we say, well, maybe these people should be detained at that point. We can have a debate about the specifics of that, but I just want everybody in the country to know the class of individuals that we're talking about. We're talking about people who come here and we're losing track of them. And we have ICE memos going out from this administration effectively saying, nah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about putting detainers on these individuals. Don't use your ICE authority to go make sure that there are people who need to be detained that are detained. So we can just speak on the same common terms and acknowledge we just have disagreements about some of those aspects about who's legitimate and illegitimate in terms of being in the United States. Then at least maybe we could speak to actually accomplish an objective. All we're trying to do in the legislation is say, gosh, maybe we should make sure that the default should be if you're here as a guest in our country and we're giving you a path to be here for some reason out of the benevolence of our collective hearts, maybe, just maybe, if we think you're up to no good, the default position ought to be that we have a detainer on you for ICE so that we can track you, know what you're doing, and make sure that you're not up to worse no good. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Question. Gentleman from California is recognized.